Wait, we need a cold open, don't we?
Oh, we do need a cold open, don't we? Okay.
But maybe we said something funny enough.
Is there a
Hopefully.
train going past your house right now?
Um, maybe. This is gonna be so good.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to North No Return. As always, I'm your host, Austin. And joined, as always, by...
Our live audience. Woo! Woo!
and also Tristan's here, I think, too, right?
Yes, that's me.
Yay. Awesome.
I am the live audience.
Yeah. Live audience, live commentary. What more do you want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a special episode, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
This is episode number 13. This is the first episode me and Austin are in the same room.
So weird.
Sad days, sad times.
I'm sitting here and there's no Tristan nearby. This is not good.
Yeah, the Tristan energies are not there.
I can see his face though on my computer. It's okay.
Yeah.
His beautiful, illuminated face.
I shrunk myself down and snuck into Austin's computer.
Oh, how'd you get in there? Get out of there. That's not okay. You can't be in my computer.
No, it's nice and warm in here. I love
Hopefully
apples.
it's not too warm. This is actually I'm using a Windows today. I'm
Dang.
on a ThinkPad.
I think that you called my bluff.
I know. No more Apple for me right now.
So that being said, we're
No.
over a Discord call. So if the audio quality is bad, we're still just getting some stuff ready. We're in two different studios.
We'll get the kinks sorted out and stuff, and
Yeah,
we'll figure
like the
it out.
bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the band.
Like the band.
We'll work the kinks out and walk through the doors of no. We'll get the kinks out and then rush through the doors of Pink Floyd. I don't know what's another band
Yeah.
name.
Beatles.
Beatles. Yep.
Motorhead.
There we go. Yep.
Colonel Les Claypool and the Fearless Flying Frog Brigade.
Now
Work
that's a
that
good
one
name.
in there.
Yeah. I don't like work that in, but
Yo, you got it. Okay, by the end of the episode, you'll have to do something.
okay. All right. I'm gonna be thinking about this.
Speaking of, our episode is going to be like a devil's advocate thing. We have 3 different topics we're going to go over, and we're going to flip a coin to see what side of that topic we have to argue, even if it's not our opinions.
Exactly. Yeah. Like we might not necessarily agree with what we're saying, but it's playing devil's advocate, trying to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So, Tristan, do you want to introduce our first topic for today?
Yeah, so we're going to go over acoustic versus electronic music. And I got my coin here. My 1992 quarter from the year I was born.
This may not be a visual medium. You can imagine the quarter in your head, right? Picture
Yeah.
Tristan holding a quarter.
Yeah, so little eagle and then this little dude's face on the one side. So
Yeah, well, that's a quarter for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a quarter of
Yeah.
$1. That's why it's 25 cents. Fun facts. Okay.
Yeah.
So heads will be for acoustic, tails will be for digital or electronic.
Okay, but who? Like, okay, yeah, but is that for you? So if you get heads, you're doing acoustic,
Oh.
and then
Are you heads or tails?
I think that makes the most sense.
You can pick heads or tails.
I'll be heads. Well, I can't
I don't know
pick,
what I'm
so I'll pick
doing.
Heads. Okay, let's just. Okay. I got an idea.
You got it.
This is for you. You flip the coin. If it's heads, you're gonna do acoustic. If it's tails, you're gonna do electric. How's that sound?
Okay.
And I'll do the opposite.
Heads electric, tails acoustic.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's backwards. Yeah. Okay.
It is backwards.
Heads is electric. Tails is acoustic.
Heads
flipped
is
it?
electric.
It's heads.
Yeah.
So Tristan's gonna argue for why electric's better. I'm gonna argue for why acoustic is better.
I want you to start.
You want me to start?
Yep.
Okay.
I got stage
so-
fright.
Oh, I'm so sorry. All right, here we go. Oh, my fridge just turned on. Hopefully it's not gonna be too loud.
Oh, fridges
Whatever,
are cool.
We'll figure that out. Yeah, fridges are cool. They keep stuff cold, and keep my food fresh.
Woo.
All right,
Fridges.
so here we go. Acoustic music, right? Here's why it's so much better than this newfangled electric stuff, right? With electric music, it's all synthesized and put through, electronics and computers are weird and scary. I don't like them. I like nice strings and wood. That's all you need to make music, right? The nice simple sounds of a nice acoustic guitar. It's so much cleaner and laid back and chill So think of all the good music that uses acoustics, right? Think about folk, right? That's a big acoustics thing. Think about earlier rock where we had electric. That was big. Bob Dylan played acoustic guitar until he went electric.
Oh, you're messing
whatever,
yourself
right?
up there. Yeah, Bob Dylan.
Early Bob Dylan was good.
Yeah, but
Okay.
later Bob Dylan's good too, and he went electric as
I
like a protest against people thinking that there's a superiority to acoustic. So.
But you wouldn't call his acoustic stuff bad, would you?
No.
His stuff is good too, I'll admit, but.
But using him as an example backs yourself in the corner because he used that as a protest.
Here's a good example then. Everyone talks about this, right? What's one of the greatest examples of acoustic music of all time? Nirvana's MTV Unplugged episode. Everyone's seen it. It's one of their biggest things.
Who's
like
Nirvana?
MTV's biggest things.
What's that? What's Nirvana?
Ever heard of Kurt Cobain and the Naked Baby album cover? Some of the most influential grunge of the early 90s.
I don't know what you're looking up. I don't look up naked babies.
Oh, well, okay. Let's not go through my search history today. That might not be a good idea. But everyone knows Nirvana, right? And one of their pinnacle achievements was their MTV Unplugged, where they got rid of the electric instruments, they turned down the amplifiers, took out their guitar, they got unplugged, and just sat back and played some laid-back music. One of the best recording sessions in history.
Yeah, but then think about Woodstock with Jimi Hendrix, electric guitar.
Well, I suppose that's a good point.
And then, if you have electric instruments, you have more freedom to do whatever you want. You can have like a pedal that makes it sound like this, and you have with all your instruments, like even like a drum machine. Then it's more precise with the sounds and stuff. And like with the guitar, you have all the pedals, and you have all the different. You have distortion and stuff, and then you have all the different amps that sound slightly different. So then you can like chase a tone, like a specific tone, instead of just accepting that the guitar sounds like this.
Get more variety.
You get more
right?
freedom.
But could you argue with that freedom it takes away from some of like the purity of what guitar is and what rock music, or not necessarily rock, but what guitar music should be?
You're saying electric music's inorganic?
Yeah, I'm saying it's something different than what it should be.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good argument, but like if you're putting synthesizers into something and amps, you're gonna be changing up the way. I don't sound very intelligent right now, but you're gonna be changing
But it's
up the
cool.
way.
But pew 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 pew, music's cool.
I know. I'm having to agree with you because I do agree. Yes, it sounds super cool, but I can't say that because I'm arguing against them.
I know, that's my problem too. So I think that whatever I don't think this one's gonna go much longer. I think whatever you're doing with your instruments, it just has to fit your style, I guess. If your style's electric, if your style's acoustic, whatever. There's advantages in both. I don't think there's a better one or a worse one.
Yeah,
that's
I would
an
agree
example
with
of a
go
not thought through idea.
Oh, okay. Let's see where this is gonna go. Excited to hear this.
No, that was the example of a not thought through idea. Having acoustic versus electric being the first one.
Yeah. Well, no, I think we had to raise some good points, right? I think acoustic has its strengths, right? Acoustic sounds really good on slower, more lyrical or more laid back music, right? Like, again, I think a great example is literally all of folk music, right? You don't hear.
You said mainly with lyrics. Sorry, but you said mainly with lyrics. All classical music from like the classical period is acoustic. Without most of the times don't have lyrics.
That's true, but a lot of times now I'm not an expert on classical music, but that was more with like bands, right? Like we had like a piano,
but
you
they're
had
all
a full
acoustic.
orchestra, right? And pianos are strings too, but like it wasn't the four-man band with you got your guitar, your bass, your drums, keyboard, right? It was
but that's like a very
different.
Western look at it. What about in the whole world? Because acoustics probably. Wait, no, I'm electric.
You switched sides. See, I'm winning.
Yeah, what the heck? I just pranked myself.
Yeah, so anyways, that's a very Western view you have there, Tristan. Only looking at it as from a Western four-man band perspective, huh? You're so closed-minded.
Well, imagine, like, Beethoven rocking on, like, a electric keyboard instead of the piano. Imagine how cool that'd be.
Sick.
He had
Imagine,
there's so many more tools you could use.
I suppose, yeah. I mean, imagine Handel's Messiah playing like a synthesizer. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
I don't know how that would sound, but
imagine you go into your like shed, like your workshop, and there's like a screwdriver and a hammer. Versus if you have a drill, a hammer, a saw, like all these things, what one's gonna be able to get more work done?
I suppose the more tools option, right?
Yeah, so that's like electric.
Yeah, I see what you're going with there. Yeah, so I think I would agree that electric offers more opportunities, right? But acoustic can maybe offer a slower, simpler, more pure sound. You know, if
Yeah,
you're
it's-
trying to go for something a little more mellow, right?
Yeah. Like you're never gonna hear a metal song. Well, I'm not gonna say never, but like you rarely hear a metal song with acoustic guitar and stuff. And you hardly hear indie music without the acoustic like vibe of it all.
That's very necessary.
Like ukuleles. Ukuleles are like the most acoustic thing.
Yeah, that's about acoustic as it gets right there.
Yeah, top acoustics.
Yeah, I mean that's just the best instrument, I think, right? I mean, like it doesn't get any better than a ukulele.
Yeah,
right?
what other instrument has 4 strings and is as cool?
I can't think of any. I mean,
I can't think of any. Maybe like a drum.
From the top of my mind to the base of my mind, I can't think of anything that has 4
Yeah.
strings and sounds good.
A 4-string violin.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I don't even know
Wait,
how many
do they
strings a
make it
violin
for?
has.
Do violins? I don't think the well. No,
I don't
you
know.
might be right, actually.
My favorite instrument is a 4-string harp.
That's not a lot of notes you can play. It's only 4 strings.
You can play every note you want. You gotta get creative.
Okay, sure, yeah.
I'm right.
Well, that's your opinion.
Okay. So, in that one, music wins.
Music, yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay.
next topic.
Next
you got
topic.
this.
All right.
Perfect segue
This is the
time.
one I'm most excited for out of the 3. I think this one's gonna be interesting, and that is auto-tune harmful or negative to the music industry as a whole? Does auto-tune negatively affect the music industry? So Tristan, flip a coin, and if it's heads, I'm gonna argue for auto-tune. If it's tails, I'm gonna argue against it.
Okay, get tails. I dropped my coin.
Oh no. Okay, we're gonna have to do a reflip. Playing the field calls for a new flip. Oh, I hope it's heads.
Tails.
Oh, I have to argue against
it's
auto-tune.
tails.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
Huh.
That's okay. That's okay. I have plenty to say that's bad with auto-tune. Okay, since you're defending it, let's hear your opinion first.
T-Pain.
T-
That's my entire
You did
argument.
The T-Pain defense. Oh no, that's the one thing I was scared of was we knew who T-Pain was.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you mean? Of course, T-Pain. That's a point for me. Obviously, T-Pain sounds horrible. It's this horrible auto-tune mess. Why would you ever bring him up?
No, T-Pain's awesome. So like, most people think auto-tune is like something to fix your to automatically put it to the nearest note or whatever. But T-Pain's like, I see this, and I'm gonna raise you an entirely new style. So he made it all robotic sounding and stuff. So he used it as a tool to make his voice a different instrument.
But it's not his natural voice, right? Isn't that cheating? He doesn't have to work as hard, doesn't have to train his vocal cords and stuff. He's using technology to make the supplement a lack
Well, it
of
might not be a
skill.
lack of skill. It's like creative to use that like as an like having the robotic voice is what he was going after. He wasn't going after a perfect singing style. He was going after this certain style of vocals. He wasn't going to be like the greatest singer because people have already done that. You can't rise and like Bob Dylan. Like he's gonna be like, I'm not the greatest singer in the
He's not
world.
Freddie Mercury.
If he wanted to use autotune, who cares? A lot of Bob Dylan.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. But what about live performers on stage who lip sync to auto-tune music and stuff? You're not really hearing them perform live. It's not a genuine concert experience. They're auto-tuning through their mics.
So are they singing and then the mic's auto-tuning, or are they lip syncing?
What's the difference, in my opinion? If I'm arguing against auto-tune, in my opinion, what's the difference, right? If it's going to be playing through a microphone, or if it's pre-recorded, it's going to be auto-tuned in the studio, and if they're performing it live, it's going to be auto-tuned through their mic. It's the same synthesized, computerized sound.
I'm gonna run around this question. I'm gonna ask you a question. So, give me a second to get my bearings. So, do you think that if a musician is using autotune or studio tools in the studio that they can't replicate on, live performances, does that make it less valuable? Or,
Yup. Again, as someone arguing against autotune, I would have to say yes, it does, because if they aren't performing it genuine in the moment, it's not their real voice, it's some fake, creation of theirs. How does that? If I go to a concert, I'm there for that genuine connection with the artist, to hear their voice, to see them performing and stuff, right? isn't autotune just one big barrier that gets in the way of that?
Okay, now what if they're sick though? Like, what if they're sick and they can't perform to their utmost? They're like, I'm gonna give these guys a show, and the only way I can do that is to mask my voice because I'm sick and I can't hit the notes I usually hit. Or like, if they are a perfect singer but they're sick or they have a complication, there's nothing they can do. And
Yeah,
then,
I suppose that's a good point, right?
Yeah.
If you have to try to, the show must go on, and you have to give the best performance you can. Some concessions probably have to be made somewhere.
and then like, if you use studio tools, not just autotune, but like if you use any studio tools, eventually it's not replicatable to whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not that you can't just replicate it on a stage. Like, think of the Beatles. They stopped touring, not because of autotune, but like because of all the studio work they were doing, that they couldn't replicate the music to everybody else. So they're like, we're gonna keep it in the studio. We're not gonna go live.
Yeah, that's a good point, but the Beatles still did do live performances. Sure, their later stuff they didn't perform live, but their earlier stuff all the time, and they sounded great, and they didn't use auto-tune, right? Think about the Beatles. A good example, Freddie Mercury is one of the greatest vocalists of all time, right? He never used auto-tune. If these all-time greats don't need auto-tune, why do the artists of today need auto-tune?
Well, it's not that the artists of today need autotune, it's just that it's a tool that they can use, so why wouldn't they? Like, if you can make yourself sound better for nothing, why wouldn't you? If back in the day, if they had this tool, like, I bet a lot more people would be using it. Even if it's just, like slight pitch correction. It doesn't really, like, whole jumps like T-Pain, just, like, little pitch corrections, just make them sound, a little bit better.
I guess my one last point, though, I'd have to say against that is a lot of times auto-tune can make a voice sound too good, right? If you're pitch perfect, if it's perfect in like an almost robotic way, can't that take like some of the humanity, some of the personality out of a voice? Can't that make the singer sound kind of too clean, too smooth? A lot of times, isn't it kind of their imperfections that make someone noticeable, or their traits more important, right? Does it kind of take some of the personality and humanity out of a singer?
I'd say that's a good point. But then on the other hand, like on the other side of that, again with T-Pain, you've got like if they're doing it on purpose to sound robotic. Like, I mean, like think like Daft Punk. Like their whole act was they're robots, so they went out and made their voice sound robotic. And without auto-tune and stuff, they could never do that.
But I'm talking about for artists who don't try to sound robotic. For like, you can't tell me some like Taylor Swift or Ed Sheeran doesn't use auto-tune, right? But like they're trying to go for that more human sounding voice. They aren't like Daft. They aren't EDM. They aren't T-Pain. Like they're
T-Pain,
trying to sound
his
human,
own genre.
right?
T-Pain.
I'm not gonna put him in a box.
What's your favorite genre of music? My favorite genre is T-Pain. You got EDM, you got pop, and T-Pain.
Those are the only three genres of music.
Yeah.
If it doesn't fit into one of those three, it's not music.
Yeah.
You're either at the club, like raving, you're listening to pop in the car, or your life is just T-Pain.
Or you are T-Pain, yeah. There's no separation. It is either music, like EDM pop, or you are T-Pain. There's no in between.
You're just T-Pain.
You have to be T-Pain. Okay. Auto-tune.
Yeah, I'm genuinely curious. I thought unless you have anything else you want to say that's important. I had a question about auto-tune kind of after the argument, but do you have anything else you wanted to add?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
I'm genuinely curious. What's your actual opinion on autotune? If you weren't going to argue heads or tails, this is something I actually have a bit of an opinion on in real life.
Yeah.
I'm curious what your actual stance is on autotune.
It's kind of like the electronic guitar, like electronic music. It's like it is just another tool, and obviously it can be used wrong. Like if you use distortion on a guitar to like make it not sound like a guitar anymore, and that's like, and you're not going for that sound, it's not going to sound good. So if you use auto-tune to an extent where your voice isn't sounding how you like, it's not like an artistic choice to make it sound like robotic. But if it's like if you don't know how to use your tools, it will end up bad. But it's the same way as everything else. If you don't know how to use a guitar, the guitar's not going to sound good.
Yeah, I like that. I think I have a pretty similar stance. I'm pretty pro autotune because the way I see it, everything in the studio is going to be pitch corrected and tuned. It might not be auto-tune the exact plugin, but it's going to be some form of pitch correction, some form of audio editing, right? That's what we live in. We live in a digital age. Everything's going to be messed with and edited. And a great example, I think, is like the way songs get popular now is instead of an artist releasing an album, it blows up on TikTok, right?
Yeah.
That's how it happens. And the way that those songs blow up is when you have an auto-tuned, catchy sounding song that you can repeat over and over again in like, a reel or a TikTok, something that can be clipped. That's what makes songs popular nowadays. Like it or not, that's the world we're living in, and that's only possible because of pitch correction and auto-tune and letting anyone can become an artist nowadays because of tools like auto-tune, which it lowers the skill gap. But I think the skill ceiling's still there. To use some like competitive terms, you can still have good singers that are the best of all time, right? But it makes the barrier of entry that much easier for young artists trying to blow up on the internet.
And then there's also a difference between vocalists and singers. Like you have vocalists that could sing like amazingly. Like think like you have Freddie Mercury and then like a bunch of opera singers. I'm not versed in opera, so I don't know anyone. And then you have like Kurt Cobain, who has the same fame as like him and Freddie Mercury. Most people know both of them, but you can't tell me Kurt Cobain was a good vocalist. And not technically, not skillfully, but he had that.
I wouldn't call him bad, but he was nowhere near Freddie Mercury, right?
I mean,
I wouldn't call him anywhere near as good.
I think if you go to karaoke, you could probably find a good portion of people that are better than him. But he was a singer, not a vocalist. So like his words, like his voice matched what he was trying to say instead of like. Because if you sang Nirvana as like this like clean, if Freddie Mercury or Robert Plant,
the genre is literally called grunge. It's supposed to be dirty and rough and unclean and dirty. And that's the point, right? It's not supposed to be perfect.
Yeah. And then
one thing I want to point out too about T-Pain, everyone always brings up T-Pain when it comes to auto-tune, right? I find it funny that he gets this disrespect for that when Daft Punk, not same exact thing, but pretty similar thing. Everyone likes Daft Punk, or at least they're popular.
Yeah.
T-Pain is an amazing vocalist. Go listen to some of his acoustic stuff. Like, he has skill. Like, he does not need auto-tune to sound good. His un-auto-tuned vocals sound amazing. People shouldn't hate on him just because he used auto-tune as an artistic tool.
It was creative. I'm not a huge fan of T-Pain. He's not my favorite genre. My favorite genre is not T-Pain.
Which one is it, pop or EDM then? Which one's your favorite genre? It's not T-Pain.
All three of those are my top three.
All three are your top three. Wow.
All three genres in the world, they're all my top three. But no, I think
that really is a genre of all time.
Yeah, it is definitely one of them.
Yep.
I think I respect how T-Pain did it, and then he kept with it even though he got all this hate. He was like, "I'm T-Pain, like I can do whatever I want." He didn't have anything to prove. He was like, "I'm gonna use this tool, and I'm gonna use it how I see best fit for it." Because like you have all, and then when you said earlier, it's like anybody can be a musician nowadays. It's like anybody can make music. I don't know if anybody can be a musician. There's a difference there.
Yep, I would agree with that.
But there's still. It's still kind of hard to get in, but yeah.
That's something I like about music right now is anyone can buy a basic audio editing software or some kind of like GarageBand type software where you just throw in a looping drum track, throw in some kind of sample on top of that, and boom, you have a song, right? It's not that hard to do. But what is hard to do is do that and do it well.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I was saying earlier, to get into music now, it's so much easier. You don't need a bunch of expensive equipment. You can do it all on your laptop if you want to. But to do it well, you still need that skill and that knowledge to be a accomplished, well-respected musician.
Do you ever watch Rick Beato on YouTube?
I do not know.
Okay. See, I know he was in a band or something. I don't really know his whole backstory, but he's got some like appeal to authority, right? But so he has this video that comes up every year or so, and it's about how modern music's so boring. Like modern pop music, so boring. But and that's like a common misconception I think of most people. Are like, oh well, everybody uses auto-tune, everybody uses this, everybody it's so boring. Everybody uses the same 4 chords. But that's not that they're not being creative. It's just that that's what's popular. They make money off that, but they still have creative elements in it, even if they have to use those same 4 chords and everything. The lyrics are new, and there's new mixes of everything. And then if they use the tools that the old people, older bands weren't allowed, they have that extra creativity. So if you're looking for a band that sounds like back in the old days, you're not gonna find it in pop music because you're not gonna purposely ignore a tool. Like if you have a hammer and a saw and you had to cut down a tree, you're not gonna use the hammer.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna.
So many
tool
tool
in a modern
analogies.
age, we're gonna use our modern tools.
Yeah.
If
That's
you
kind
want
of
cool, old-sounding music, go listen to old music.
Yeah, we have that ability. We don't need bands like other bands. We have the ability to listen to those bands as much as we want.
Exactly. Everyone has Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon or something on their phone, or even YouTube.
You just
can
look
go
up, you look
find-
up literally anything.
Go to your phone,
Yeah.
type in Nirvana. Go to your phone, type in Beatles. You can find whatever you want.
Go to your phone, type in new wave beats, lo-fi beats to study to with a hint of metal. You'll find
love that.
something.
That sounds interesting. You can go
I've
to your
never-
phone. You
yeah.
can type in Les Claypool and the Fearless Flying Frog Brigade. Listen to that if you wanted to.
Yeah, definitely. We
So-
went to the concert, so we had to plug.
Yeah, it was a good concert. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
I never.
so
Yeah.
you got
Yep.
it. No, it's all you.
I was
You're
gonna
the
say I've
man,
never heard the end with him playing bass with someone else playing saxophone. That was a cool combination. I gotta
Yes.
say.
And one of them's
Busy.
electric and one of them's acoustic.
That's true. I want more saxophones in my rock music.
Oh yeah, horns should be in every genre. Even
Yeah.
T-Pain.
T-Pain did what was it? The Get Low song, right? Is that T-Pain?
I don't even know.
I'm not sure.
I told
but-
you T-Pain's not my favorite genre.
Yeah, exactly. But
But-
I'm just imagining that right now with a horn section.
I do think T-Pain as a genre should get more horny.
Ooh. Ooh. We're
You
getting
got to make that
spicy in the
sound.
booth today.
No, we're not even in the same room. We can't get spicy.
Let's not check Tristan church history today. That might not be good.
Music.
Yeah.
So speaking of that like long-winded thing was my segue. Can there be bad music? Is music boring? Is music bad? Is there such thing as bad music?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. So let's flip a coin this time again and say heads, you're arguing for bad music. Tails, you're arguing against bad music. Saying there's no such thing as bad music. That sound good?
I don't
There we
remember
go.
what you said, but you remember, so.
Okay, heads is
got
for
tails.
bad music. Okay, so you're
I'm
arguing
against
that
bad
there's no such
music? Oh, easy.
thing. Okay, man, you every time you've gotten the one that I wanted to get. Come
Look,
on.
fine, let's switch.
Oh no, it's fine.
No,
It's
no,
fine.
let's
I
switch.
can argue. Oh,
Let's
okay.
switch.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yep, let's switch.
Okay, so I'm arguing.
have an
that
argument,
There's no
so-
bad music. Okay, that's good. I like that. All right, then let's hear. What's your argument? Why is there bad music?
Okay. I'll start out easy. So what about
Okay.
music that's like just skill-wise bad? Like, have you ever heard of the Shags? The Philosophy of the World?
Yes.
Okay, what about that music?
Okay. Yep. I would agree. There is technical skill in music, right? But at the end of the day, music is a form of self-expression, right? And if that's what they wanted to express, however technically bad it might sound, I think it's valid, right? If that's what they felt like, okay, I want to show this in my music, they're going to express that. Does that make any? You know what I mean? Like, music is a self-expression. You're going to be
Okay.
able to whatever.
Yeah,
What?
now you want to know the top secret thing about that? So the dad of the Shags got a fortune, and he said that his daughters are going to be famous. So he bought them all instruments and got them lessons and bought them studio time. They didn't care about music. They were just thrown into it. So, like, that's why, and, like, they're just, like, brand new. They're like, well, I can do this and this. So, like, there's an extent, I mean, what's the extent where it's not self-expression anymore? Or, like, where you're, like, if somebody makes music just for money, and they're forced to make something because their record, their, like, label or something, where's the line between self-expression and just
I see
making
what you're saying. Yep,
music
there-
for
there's
content reasons?
monetary
instead of art?
value in music too, right? I think that as long as the artist says that they are passionate about it or that they enjoy doing it, that means that it's valid and it's something that they can. Art is defined by the artist, right? If I if I have a painting and I drop a bucket of paint on it accidentally, that's not art, right? But if Jackson Pollitt walks by and he drops a bucket of paint on a canvas and says that it is
It can
art,
be.
then it is art, right? It's the exact same piece. It's just defined by the artist. So I think that if
Yeah.
the person making the music is like, hey, I am only doing this for the money. I don't care at all about the music. I'm doing it for selfish reasons. No one's gonna ever say that. But if they were to say that, then yeah, it's bad music. It's not good art. But no, but I'm saying I think
You're
you're
supposed to be
gonna find an
arguing
artist
against
who's gonna
bad
say,
music.
I don't like my work. I don't enjoy
Okay.
making music. I'm not passionate about music. Like you're not gonna find. I can't like even if someone was forced into making music, they're gonna be doing it because they enjoy it. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. Why else would you make like you're gonna make music because something you like. Something you like doing. It's art, right? Like, yeah.
Okay. I have another argument, but I'll back you up on that one because so you're saying if somebody's forced to make music, like for money, like if the label's like, you need to release this by this time, they just like chuck out some random songs they don't really care about. But the idea still went through their head and they still chose to pick those lyrics and everything. So it's still like somewhat personal.
Yeah, it's not. They didn't
Okay.
just roll a dice. It's like, okay, if I roll number 5, next word's going to be pineapple, right?
Yeah, so it did go through their mind. It's filtered through a human, like, creativity.
Everything
It's
we
filtered
do and
through
say is
human
done
creativity.
through our outlook, our worldview on life, right?
Yeah.
So if no matter what they're saying, it's something that came from them. It's a form of self-expression.
Now, what if music's actively harmful to some people or something? Like, what if there was like a very, very hateful, like it was racist, homophobic, all this stuff. It was very, like, very evil, we could say.
Yep. No, I get what you're saying.
Where's the merit in that?
That's a great point, and that's something hard to argue for, right? I don't want to argue for someone being racist or homophobic. Those are two horrible things. I would want to say those are okay. And I'm kind of almost want to go to your side and say that shouldn't be allowed, but
Let's do a switcheroo.
no, it's fine. I'm sticking with what I got. I'm just saying, I'm trying to defend myself before I say let's go listen to racist music. I don't want to say that without context, right? Don't sound clip me saying, hey, everyone should listen to racist music. Don't cut that bit out. Okay, editor, don't cut that
Already
bit
got
out.
That's my soundboard now.
But what I am saying is we live in a world where, at least in our country, free speech is protected. And even if that speech sucks and it's not good, it's protected. And even if that art has a negative message to it, it's still a form of self-expression, and that's still art.
Okay.
I don't like that art. You can choose not to like something. You know, there's certain paintings I don't like, there's certain songs I don't like, but those are still art. Just because it has a negative connotation doesn't make it any less or more art. Like I said, it could make it something that I don't like.
But can there be such thing as bad art?
I don't think so.
Is there such
That's
thing
what
as
I'm
bad
saying.
art?
Yeah, it's not bad. I just don't like it, right? I don't have to like everything
Okay.
ever made, but that doesn't make it bad. Me, Austin, doesn't get to pick what makes something good or bad. It's the artist who makes
Okay.
it.
Now, you've been saying a lot about self-expression and very personal and creativity. What if it's written by an AI?
Okay. Now,
What if it's... Yeah.
I would say that by saying there's such thing as bad music, can I exclude AI in that? Because I get what you're saying there. I think I'd have... I don't want to fold over, but that is one thing where I think you have a solid point. Everything else, I still stand for what I'm saying. There's such thing as bad music. But I think with AI, that's something that's created by... Here's what I'm going to say. As of right now, artificial intelligence is not true AI, right? It's not sentient. If I were to ask ChatGPT,
Yeah.
can you explain to me the philosophies of the mind? Tell me what love is, right? It can't do that. It can give me a Google result for what those things are, but it can't reason out in its own brain. It can't think for itself.
Yeah.
It's not actually it's not like a human brain in there. It's just it's a glorified search algorithm, right? I think if AI got to the point, theoretically, right, way in the future, where it's true AI, it's truly sentient, it can think for itself, it can have emotions, it can feel pain, it can feel sadness, it can feel love, it can feel happiness, right? All those things.
Yeah.
Which that's terrifying thing. That's a whole nother
It is
discussion. Is that
terrifying.
okay or is that not okay? What should we do with that, right? But let's just put that whole ethical dilemma to the side and say, yes, we have
music.
true AI that can make music. Then I'd say that's 100% music. That's something that's created by
Okay.
something that can feel emotion. But I will give you that AI music in its current form is not music. I would agree with that.
Well,
But
we're not arguing if it's music or not. We're arguing if it can
that's
be
a good
bad.
point. Yes, AI music can be bad. I would give it that. Current AI music. If we had AI
Okay.
in the future that is actually AI, still a form of self-expression. I think my main argument is that self-expression is what makes music good or bad. And I think an AI could theoretically self-express. I mean, that's way in the
If it
future.
becomes true AI,
Yeah.
which I don't know. I don't think I'd take that trade. But whatever.
exactly.
Don't,
That's a
they're not
whole-
listening to me.
moral. We can't control what Microsoft's going to do and Google's going to do in the next couple of years. But as of now, AI isn't that smart. So hey, we
Well,
got
to
one
everybody-
AI right now.
Hey, as far as everybody knows, we're AI right now. Just
That's
me and
true.
you are just AI, because they don't know who we are unless they do. Then, nerds.
Yeah.
Imagine knowing somebody.
Imagine knowing this in real life. You losers. Why
Yeah,
you listen
imagine
to this-
knowing a celebrity.
Why are you listening to this podcast? You could be talking to us in real life. That'd be so much cooler. Or way cooler
Yeah.
in life. Trust me.
Or you could be like practicing how to do backflips.
Yeah. Oh, we should do that.
Backflips are cool, yeah.
Yeah.
Austin, me and Austin will podcast us doing backflips.
Yeah, it's gonna just be the sound of like it's gonna be some soft thuds as I just fall on the ground, and then you'll see the occasional
No.
like, ouch or like ah as I fall.
Very hard thuds.
Just like a mic ready, like a thud, boom, right into the
Like a-
ground. Yeah, well, that's a good sound bite right there. Very
Yeah.
satisfying.
Soundbite. I'm hungry.
Me
Yeah.
too.
So, okay, what other argument you got for that?
Well, I think I've defended it pretty well. I think that like I said, my argument, the central tenet is self-expression, right? And as long as the music coming out of you is self-expression, which I can't really envision a world other than AI where it's not self-expression, then it's up to the artist. You can critically look at something, you can analyze it, you can say, hey, this chord progression doesn't sound very good, or hey, this isn't pitched correctly. You can have critiques, or you can have your own opinion. You can not like a certain genre of music, but at the end of the day, good music is self-defined. I think is this self-expression, and am I happy with it? And if those are true, then it's good music.
Okay, so then why do we have the idea that there is such thing as bad music? Like, why are people like, oh, rap's bad? Like, why can we like write out an entire genre? Country's bad. Like,
I see what you're saying. I think that's because of personal biases and personal opinions, right? Like, personally, I'm not a very big fan of country music. And that's just because of like I like just the way I was raised, what I see in like life. I don't necessarily like it that much just because of who I am. But just because I don't like country music doesn't mean that country music's bad, right? There's, what's his face, Luke Combs, right? Isn't he a pretty big modern country star? He makes way more money than I am, and he's a way better artist than I will ever be in my life. I don't think we're ever gonna be as famous as Luke Combs, right? Hopefully, I mean, maybe we will. Who knows? Keep subscribing, keep following, hitting that bell, and I don't know how Spotify works.
the bell? Or is there a bell?
I don't think there's a bell, but give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or whatever.
Dude, you never know. My Mongolian throat singing, my career
Oh.
might hit it off.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, exactly. Didgeridoo playing, right? Maybe you'll go crazy
Yeah,
with that.
yeah. Didgeridoo and I got like a nine-piece band, but there's only one person.
Yeah, oh yeah, that could be cool. That could be.
Yeah, that's just what I do.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, but so instead of being it's not personal at that point. It's a whole like cultural thing. Like just because we're not used to a music, why are we so okay of just calling it bad, like writing it off right away? I guess it's more of a philosophical question, not really a bad or good. But why, as a culture, are we okay with just writing off music that we don't like as bad or as not as valuable?
I think part of it's because we as a culture are so defined by like what we like and don't like, right? Like social media and stuff, people like things, people either thumbs up or thumbs down something. We can't thumbs down YouTube videos anymore, but you used to be able to. Like we are very polarized into either you're with me or you're against me, right? Which I think is a
Yeah.
very narrow-minded way of looking at things. Instead of being
It's kinda
yes or
dangerous,
no.
too.
Yeah, and honestly dangerous. I think it's more of a spectrum. Like, why should we be forced to say either I hate this or I love this? It should be, I kind of like it, or it's okay.
It's mid.
It's mid, yeah. More things should be
Just
mid.
like, yeah.
Not everything is the best. Not everything is the worst. Most things are
I also
mid.
think if I made something and somebody's like, this is mid, or like, this is just okay, I think that's more of an insult of it being bad, because if you have enough of yourself in something and people just think it's okay, it's very easy to forget. But if something's repulsively bad, it's also gonna be, repulsively good to somebody. Like, so bad it's good. But if it's mid, it's just boring.
I get what you're
It's just
saying.
okay.
That's a good point. Think about like all like the kind of commercialized pop that like isn't bad but isn't good, right? You know what I mean? Like that's kind of disgusting, kind of trash music, right? I feel like in some level.
Like junk food, I always describe it as junk
Yeah,
food
that's a
music
good
because
word,
it doesn't
yeah.
fill you up and doesn't make. Well, for me, if you guys like it. I'm not trying to force anything, but like it never like okay. So for me, I like jazz, but it's a lot of work to listen to jazz.
Uh-huh.
Like I set aside and like you had to like actually you had to sit down in a dark room, headphones on, nothing else going on, and then afterwards it's such a good experience. But it's so much work when you can just listen to like Dua Lipa, Taylor Swift. You can listen to these people, and it's just like, yeah, I can listen to thousands of songs. But for me, how I listen to music, it's not gonna be as profound of an experience as if I were to listen to like Miles Davis or, you know, I'm not huge into jazz, but I like when I do listen to it and get into it, you know.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. There's certain music that takes, you can sense the skill and the love that went into it, right?
Yeah.
I think another good thing.
But
Oh, go ahead.
okay, I'll take this. But so, then my question is like, why do we see more value? Like, and not even just like me and you as like, because I mean, we're more into rock and stuff, but why do, as a culture, do we see more value in like, even like classical music? People are like, oh, if you listen to classical music, you're smarter, but you're not. You just like that kind of music more. If you listen to pop, if you listen to rap, if you listen to country, if you listen to rock, you have the same, you know, you're not smarter or dumber because of what you listen to. You're not better or worse than what you listen to. So why, as a culture, is it like better to listen to these like highly meticulous like song work, like, you know, piece of work, instead of the ones that's like, I just want to dance, like, let's just dance, you know?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, and I think this kind of ties into what you were saying. I think there's different. What makes music good can kind of be defined by your circumstances, right? Like, if I'm at a party, I don't want to listen to like classical music. That'd be weird. You know, I just
Beethoven,
like,
yeah.
Like I want to listen to like pop music, right, or like EDM or something like that. If I'm sitting by myself in my room, I'm gonna listen to something a little more slow, kind of like your jazz, or for me, it'd probably be like grunge or like some kind of like more like softer rock.
Something a little more slow.
Yeah.
Grunge.
Well, I would. Okay, grunge isn't that slow, but whatever. You know, if I'm when I'm working, I listen to more, you know, upbeat, peppy music because it makes me feel happier when I'm working. Right? What music seems good to you, I think, changes based on where you are in life. Right?
Yeah.
Music tastes change all the time. I feel like I'm into a different band every single week. Like, I always come back to the Beatles and Pink Floyd, I feel like, but I mean, at the end of the day, I like a different. I find a new band every week to listen to for a while, and that's just, I like them now, you know.
Yeah, and like you're saying, I think people get pigeonholed into a specific, because like, it is scary, especially if you're not into like huge into music. It's like scary to jump new genres. Like I've been trying to get into different genres than just rock. I've been trying to listen to rap and punk and stuff, and it's like, man, there's so much, and it's super discouraging. So it's easy. It's, you know, it's more comfortable just to listen to what you listen to. But the reward of understanding like the nuances in this genre and that genre and being engulfed in that scene is worth it. So I think that thinking there is such, I switch sides. I think that thinking there is such thing as bad music hinders your experiences in music. If you think there's such thing as bad any art form, I think it hinders your experience of that. Like, obviously, if they're racist and if it doesn't go if it doesn't go with your beliefs, then you shouldn't listen to it. I'm not saying give everything a chance.
Yeah, I'm not saying go out and listen to like some racist speech or some racist music.
Yeah,
right? That's not,
or if you really don't like country, you don't need to jump into country.
Yeah.
But I think when you say that there is such thing as bad in anything, it does limit your experience of that. Like, you might not like country, but there's gonna be some percentage of country that you really like, if you really search for it.
Yeah, I'm not a country music fan, but there are country music songs that I do like. Like, I don't like country music as a genre, but there are exceptions to that rule. There's country songs I really do like. And one thing I want to touch on real quick is that there is definitely, even though I wouldn't say there's bad music, there is definitely technical skill level in music, right? There are certain musicians that are more technically better than others. Like, we talked about this earlier when we said that Freddie Mercury is a better vocalist than Kurt Cobain, right? But that doesn't necessarily make Queen a better band than Nirvana, because they both were doing their own thing and their own genre. So even though I would 100% say Freddie Mercury is better than Kurt Cobain, I would not say that Queen or Nirvana is better than each other. They're both good music, you know?
And the cool thing is, even with such like polar opposites as Freddie Mercury and Kurt Cobain, there's still an argument that Kurt Cobain's a better singer. If people,
if you wanted to, you can make that argument.
Yeah, if you have more of an attachment towards Kurt Cobain than Freddie Mercury, you're not going to care about what Freddie Mercury sings, even if it's perfect, even if he has like an 8-octave range or whatever. it could be the greatest thing in the world technically, but that's like vocalist. If you can, oh my gosh, dang, my tongue's getting all twisted. No, he can be a better vocalist. That is measurable, but singers, that's what you feel. That's like that. Like if somebody's a better guitar player, in like that, it makes you feel something. It doesn't matter if they're like if you don't like Jimi Hendrix, but you like, I don't know, like, does Chad Kroeger from Nickelback, does he do the guitar? I don't know. I think he might just be the singer, but like, you know, if you like the Nickelback guitar player more than Jimi Hendrix, that's fine. It resonates with you more. One of them might be technically better, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
art is so personal. Yeah.
Yep. Comes Jinx. Even though, in my opinion, if you somehow like Nickelback or Jimi Hendrix, you probably belong in a mental hospital. In my opinion,
both.
Right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, music's personal. It's what do I like, and that's what it's. What does the music? What does the artist want to create, and what do I, as a consumer, want to listen to? I think those are the two most important questions in music, right? And as long as you're meeting those two things, it's good music. That's what it comes down to. I like Imagine Dragons. Everyone hates Imagine Dragons, but Imagine Dragons is still good because I like them. You know.
I love making jokes about Imagine Dragons being all like, you know, cringy and stuff, but all in all, I don't want to ever discourage somebody for like my worst. Like that's like one of the worst feelings if I were to ever discourage somebody from listening to what they like because I don't like it. Like I don't try.
Discourage people from listening to Nickelback, maybe we can discourage people from that.
Yeah, but even that's yeah. I mean, even as a joke, it's just a joke.
I'm joking, but
no,
yeah,
I was like, I have this thought sometimes where it's like, I mean, okay, so this might sound a little bit of egotistical, but like now with the podcast, it's like I feel like we have like a certain responsibility to even though like 2 people listen to us, like hi 2 people, but like even we have this certain responsibility because we are making content. That we have to be informed and we have to be this and we don't want to like what would I say? We don't want to like hide people. We don't want to scare people from music. Like if I'm like I don't like rap, so all rap's bad, and somebody's like, "Oh, okay, I won't jump into that genre." But what if that's like the most like valuable thing in their life if they were to get into that? I don't want to be the one. Even though I don't actually think I have this much influence, but if it ever came down to it, I would hate to have somebody walk up to me and be like, "Yeah, I was listening to this, and then I heard your podcast about how bad that song is, and I just realized how bad it was. I've never listened to it again." It's like, man, that's not a good feel. That's awful. Like,
yeah, that's not fun.
I guess that's a long-winded way of saying there's a lot more value in being positive towards all art forms than negative. Unless it is actively harmful. But then my argument for that, I'm going to switch sides on this one again.
Yeah, go ahead.
For anybody, like if it's racist, you know, all that stuff, like, I keep going to racist, homophobic, but if it's like sexist, anything. If it's harmful, there is value. I'm not going to say it's good, but there's value in it. There's value in it because you can learn what not to do. And then you can show people that this is an example of not a good art. This is an example of a harmful piece of art.
It's the same reason why we teach like World War II or like slavery in schools. It's like, hey, don't be a Nazi, or hey, don't own slaves. That's not very cool.
Yeah.
That's
how famous is Hitler?
Everyone knows Hitler, right?
Exactly,
but we know.
Yeah, we know him because he's an example. It's like, don't do this because World War II and you will lose.
Don't kill all the Jews. You know, there's I mean, I'm being sarcastic, which I'm saying.
You're being sarcastic about saying don't kill the Jews.
No. I'm oversimplifying things. I don't want to sound like I'm not trying to like make light of Hitler or anything like that. I'm just saying I'm using him as an example. Which I hate using Hitler because that's like the go-to example people use all the time. But
it works.
It works. Yeah.
Yeah. If you're gonna use an example, why not use one that works?
I think a good example. I think I was gonna say is kind of going off what you were saying. I said earlier, I don't like country music very much as a genre. I don't want to ever discourage them from listening to country music. Most of my friends like country music, and that's great for them. Right? I would never tell them you can't listen to this. I'd say, if you enjoy it, enjoy it. That's more power to you. I'm gonna like what I like. You're gonna like what you like, and that's beautiful, and that's what we want.
Yeah, and then in more of a personal scene, I don't really care. Like, if somebody's like, "Oh, I listen to this," I'll make fun of them.
Yeah, oh,
I
yeah.
make fun of
that's
Austin a
just
lot
fun
for
teasing.
Imagine Dragons.
Yeah.
But
You're
like,
gonna
that's because then I can explain. I'm like, hey, I actually don't mean this if you take it seriously. But
Exactly.
here on this
yeah.
if this podcast ever blew up, which I don't have too much reservations, but if this podcast ever blew up and then like somebody comes back and I said like Imagine Dragons stinks, it's like that's not a good feeling. And then like what if Imagine Dragons actually watched the podcast and they're like, dang, I would have been a guest.
Yeah,
but no,
exactly.
like, I'm not gonna be now.
We don't want to
I
scare
think-
them off the podcast.
Yeah.
You know.
I actually don't think I don't like Imagine Dragons as you know a music, but I think they're cool enough. You know,
yeah. I
they're not the worst thing to listen to.
They're pretty popular. Like as much people hate on them, like
Yeah.
they are popular.
It's better than listening to like somebody sing about how much they hate everybody, like
Yeah,
being in
yeah.
a negative mindset. Imagine Dragons, it's like they're radioactive. Woo.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
better than Weezer.
ooh.
I'll give it that much.
Weezer's just '90s Imagine Dragons.
I will scare off. I don't want to interview Weezer. I'll say that right now. If they ever offered. I would.
You don't
I would-
want to. You don't want to interview
Nope,
Rivers.
I'm saying that right now. No.
I'll interview Rivers. It'll be a one-on-one, me and him,
Yeah.
personal.
Yeah, that's your episode, Tristan. You handle that one.
Come on,
your own.
everybody tag Rivers, and I'll talk to him about how cool
just
Weezer
the,
is.
Just the soundbite of me saying I would never interview him.
Yeah.
Just tag that part.
Yeah, then like we gotta prove you wrong, Austin. You will interview
Yeah.
him.
No, I refuse. You can't make me interview him. I don't want to.
I'm not a huge fan of Weezer, but I think they're cool enough. He's like a chill dude. He looks like Buddy Holly, as the song says.
Uh huh.
He looks like Buddy Holly. All right, well, let's see any closing things. So our first one was digital and
Acoustic versus
acoustic.
electric. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just like go and like just teach lessons, I guess, about every one of these.
Yeah.
Analog and acoustic, or
I
you
think-
know what I'm trying to say,
Yeah.
electronic, analog.
I think our conclusion, right, was that they are both tools that have different uses, right?
Yeah,
Like,
music's good. Just listen. It doesn't matter
listen,
what
yeah.
instruments they use. If you like it, you like it.
Yep.
There's some like if what if somebody's just a singer? They're just a singer. That's all.
I'm sensing a theme here where we keep talking about instead of just saying one thing's bad or not bad, we just say, "Yo, everything's flexible and you can do
Everything's
do what you want."
music.
Everything is that's what when you're talking about art, you can't. It's hard to have exact boundaries and laws. Like, you can have opinions, like I've said, but it's hard to just say this is empirically, literally not good. You have to have
Yeah.
this disclaimer that this is my opinion because it's art, and art is all about your opinion on things.
And then here's like my philosophy. If you're gonna take a stand where you have authority or you have an appeal to authority where you think where you have people think you know more than them and they take your word for it, don't be like Ben Shapiro where he says rap isn't music, or Rick Beato where they say popular music is boring now. Let people find out for themselves. If somebody doesn't like rap, they don't like rap. But let them find out for themselves because it's their choice. And I'm not saying anything wrong with Ben Shapiro or Rick Beato. Not that I should, not that I should. I'm just not going to make a point on either of those
Staying
people.
neutral, yeah.
Yeah. But, like, in my mind, there's no benefit of telling somebody that their favorite thing is bad.
Yeah, that's just.
There's no
mean.
benefit in there's no benefit in saying that music can be bad, I don't think. That's why it's such a hard argument.
Yeah.
But there is merit in learning from music that is harmful, I think. I think that's the best argument I had. And then AI, I think if you look at it as art, it doesn't have to just be an artist looking at their art as art. I think it can be the listener looking at it as
That's a
art.
good point. Yep, I suppose.
Like,
yeah.
If you
Yeah,
go
yeah.
outside and look at a tree, it's like, that's art. Like, yeah.
Some of my favorite paintings are paintings of just nature, right? Like the beauty of nature. Some of my favorite photographs that are art is just photographies of mountains and like
Yeah.
landscapes. Nature
We gotta
itself
love
is
that.
art. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think to end it, I think what we're saying is we keep repeating ourselves, but yeah, like what you like. Art is art. You can't put it in a box. You can't define it. You can have your and you're more than entitled to have your own opinions about things. That's
Yeah,
a
you
good
can
thing,
have your cake and eat it too in art, like in this
Yeah.
situation.
You
Make your
can
bed
say
and
that-
sleep in it.
Yeah, you can say that there's no rules while having an opinion on things. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's a good way to end it.
This is supposed to be a fun
Good.
episode. It got all philosophical.
I know. I think
philosophical.
this is one of my more favorite episodes we've done. I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Alright,
and then
anything you wanna-
also, yeah, don't forget about T-Pain. My favorite,
Yeah.
one of the best genres.
One of the best
One of the genres.
one
of the genres.
One of the genres of all time. Exactly.
Yeah, T-Pain.
Yeah.
You gotta love
Yeah.
that genre of T-Pain.
What a genre. I mean, just
Yeah.
genre defining, I'd say. You know, that genre defined all genres. Yeah.
All right, well, hey, okay, we're back, so we're gonna plug. We're gonna do this every 2 weeks, about.
Yeah,
And we're
about
gonna
every
do-
2 weeks or so, I think, is the plan.
We might bring guests back. They're gonna be a little more. I guess we only had 2 guests before, but the guests are gonna be a little more sparse from now on. Not like we had
Yeah.
them crazy before, but if you want to be a guest, go to our Instagram, message us, and then we got to give you like a rundown of how it's gonna work. So
Yep.
But,
And let
yeah,
us
just
know who
message
you
us.
thought. Let us know how you think the distance recording works. If you think that the audio's crappy, you think it's good. Like, how do you think the mix went for being not in the same room together? You know,
yeah,
it's a new thing for us to try. I liked it on
Yeah.
mine. I could hear Tristan talking just fine, but I want to hear what you guys think.
yes, perfect. Yeah, and then Instagram's North and Returns, no space, no
Yep.
caps, no space, no
Space.
uppercase. That's what it was.
Yeah. No
All right.
space, no uppercase.
Are we done?
I think we're done.
All right, guys.
Another podcast successfully in the can.
Yep.
Let's high five to the computer screen. Ready? Here we
High
go.
five.
4, 3, 2, 1. High five. Boom.
Woo!
Woo.
Yeah, so Northern Returns, T-Pain's a genre, music's music, listen to what you like, don't be hateful, awesome times, I'll wait in 2 weeks, have fun, don't do anything stupid. See you later.
All right. Bye. I kind of want a sandwich.